We're here with Jesse Ventura. He doesn't know who the fuck Eminem is, but that's okay. That's all right.
Well, I know who Jay-Z is.
That's good. Hey, look, man.
And I know that because he owns a basketball team.
Straight. Well, you know, your job, you don't need to know about that. You just need to know about the government and stuff like that.
I'll admit to you, I'm kind of trapped and caught. I'm a classic rocker. You know, yeah. I grew up to Jimi Hendrix and the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and all them, and I love the music so much that I've continued to listen to it, and I really haven't expanded. But I do love the blues too. I mean, I love Stevie Ray Vaughan. I love Kid Johnny Lang.
Like all that shit.
Yeah, I love the blues and I love rock and roll.
I like the same. We believe it or not, just because this is some rap shit, I like the same shit. Yo, let me ask you something, man. We on the heels of this 9/11 thing. What? I always say that 9/11 was like, to me, it just seemed like, besides the tragedy, we gave up so many rights as citizens. Can you break down some of the rights that we gave up as citizens?
We've given up our Bill of Rights. The whole Bill of Rights is history because of 9/11. I went to court and I sued the TSA and Homeland Security over my Fourth Amendment, reasonable search and seizure.
Yeah.
See, I have metal in my body. So when I pass through the metal detector, I could go through naked. It's going to go off. The metal's inside me.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm subjected either to the X-rays or the sexual assault, and I'm treated like a criminal, a former governor. So I brought a federal lawsuit under the Fourth Amendment, reasonable search and seizure. I'm saying it's not reasonable. That's the key word.
Right.
To believe that Jesse Ventura is a threat. I've been flying for 30 years. I've been a mayor. I've been a governor. I'm an honorably discharged Navy veteran. Well, it got to federal court. I spent $20,000 preparing to go to trial.
Yeah.
And the federal judge threw it out and said she didn't have jurisdiction. Now, how can a federal judge not have jurisdiction over a constitutional question? That's what they do with every case. They won't hear it because they won't let me get in front of a jury because I'll win. And if I win, it opens up Pandora's box on them. So they simply throw it out. They won't hear the case. There's nothing you can do about it.
What other rights have been given up? Because to me,
we've given up our First Amendment rights, the right to protest our government. If you saw the Wall Street movement, what happened to them? They ran them off with pepper spray and police dogs. These people weren't violent. They were simply exercising their First Amendment rights. Whether you agreed with them or not, you should have supported their right to protest.
Yeah.
Because someday you may want to protest, and you won't be able to now. So the First Amendment's trashed. The Fourth Amendment's trashed. If I went through, I could probably name a few more, all because of 9/11. You know what the problem is? We're not listening to Ben Franklin. The great Benjamin Franklin said, "Those that will give up their liberty for security shall have and deserve neither." Because security is liberty. The only way government can make you safe is to take away your freedom. They have to lock you up.
Right.
So, and we seem to be willing to give that up. We seem to say, do what it takes to make me safe against these supposed terrorists.
Right.
Well, where are these terrorists?
Thank you.
They're nowhere around.
Mm-hmm.
All these wars we're fighting. How does, even in my last book, the RAND Corporation, which the government usually views like a Bible, they did a study on counterterrorism, and they said a military solution only has a 7% success rate. Yet we've put all our eggs in the military basket, which only has a 7% success rate. What has a better success rate against terrorism? Intelligence and good police work. Not the military invading countries. This is all an excuse to lock us down and to support the corporate raiding of the Middle East. When it comes to 9/11, I've been called crazy because I don't believe it.
Yeah. What do you think happened?
I don't know, but I think that we participated in it at a certain level. I believe, and I'll tell you why. There were over 1,200 burnt and toasted cars on the streets of Manhattan down there that were burned. How does that happen when buildings simply fall when they're as far away as 5 blocks by the FDR? What could do that? You need to read a book. It's called Where Did the Towers Go by Dr. Judy Wood. She's a physicist from Virginia Tech University. Those towers didn't fall, they disappeared. And the case in point, When they took down the Kingdome in Seattle with controlled demolition, the football stadium, it was 12.5% its original height was debris on the ground. You know how much debris of the trade tower's original height were on the ground? Less than 2%.
It's crazy.
Where did they go? Remember all the papers blowing around and all the cement in the air?
Yeah.
How does that happen from buildings falling? How is it turned into dust? It's a good question.
It is a good question.
And they don't answer it because you're not allowed. See, remember this. When the government comes out with what they call the official story, well, that's to protect officials.
Ain't that right? Yo, Jesse, Ventura, I want to thank you for coming in here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll try to do better on finding out who Eminem is and all that in the hip-hop world. But as I said, I'm 61 years old. That's my son's music, and I'm an old rock and roller and kind of stuck in that trend.
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with rock and roll. They actually know how to play instruments, man.
That they do. You know, and I love the blues, too. Like I said, there's nothing better than the hardcore Chitlin blues from down south. That's where Jimi Hendrix learned to play his guitar.
Well, play some Hendrix for this dude, and we the fuck out.
All right. Hey, Joel, work good.
Did you want to plug the book?
Oh, just again, it's Democrips and Rebloodlicans, No More Gangs in Government, and I challenge anyone, read this book. And if you still vote for a Democrat or Republican after reading this book, then you are the problem.